BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet online. The game starts here.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Let's get into some of these. As the game, that's the final, the Saints lose 33-10, a very disrespectful performance by the Saints. They got a garbage time offensive touchdown on the back end of the game. First downs 22-15, fam. Let me take a look at the stats if you can stand them. 22-15 advantage to Broncos there. Third down, Saints were 5 of 17 on third down. Good Lord. 4 of 11 were the Broncos. The Saints were 3 of 4 on fourth down. Total plays 66-61 advantage Saints. 12-11 on total drives. Yards per play 6.4 versus 4.1 advantage Broncos. They 164 yards versus 174 by the Saints. And then you look at the rushing attack. Look at the running numbers. They had 225 yards rushing against the Saints. They had 35 carries for 225 yards, and they averaged over almost 6.5 yards per rush on the Saints defense, right? The Saints picked up a little yardage on the back end with Kendre Miller had some positive runs along there. They had 97 yards, and they were 21 carries for 97 yards, average 4.6 yards per carry. Broncos were in the red zone 3 times, 2 of 3. Saints 1 of 2. Penalties, 7 penalties for 47 yards versus 5 for 35. Time of possession, 33-16 versus 26-44 advantage to Broncos. 225 yards rushing by the Broncos against the New Orleans Saints offense tonight. It was a disaster. Spencer Rattler finished 25 of 35 for a $172, average 5 yards per throw, was sacked 6 times. Let me say that again. He was sacked 6 times in the game, 82.1 on the rating. Jake Haener, 3 for 4 for 38 yards. He averaged 9.5 yards per throw and a touchdown and garbage times rating of 43.8. Kendre Miller was the top rusher for the Saints, 6 carries for 36 yards. He barely beat Spencer, who had 5 for 34. Jamal had 3 for 17. Kamara had 7 carries for 10 yards today. Awful. And then, of course, you look at the receiving corps. Cedric Wilson got busy late, 6 catches off of 7 targets for 57 yards and a long touchdown. Mason Tipton, 6 for 45. Foster Moreau, 2 for 38. Bud Means, 3 for 37. Jawan, 3 for 18. Kamara, 6 for 14. 6 catches for 14 yards, man. How ineffective is that? Fumble by Spencer Rattler that he lost 2 of them. He lost 2 fumbles, 2 losses there. As you know, one of them was a fumble to an interception, they called it. Willie Gay recovered one. And the Saints' top tackler was Jordan Howden, 8 with Demario Davis and Alante Taylor, 7. The team did lose Paulson Adebo, probably for the season, with 6 tackles on the day. He's probably done for the year. Saints didn't get 1 sack on the Denver Broncos. Not 1 sack today by the Saints. No pressure. The guy basically ran out there and did whatever he wanted to do. You know, credit to Jermaine Jackson. He had 4 carries on kick returns, actually returns on kick returns for 100 yards, 25 per return. Blake Group 1 field goal. Matt Hayball got his practice on. He had 6 punts for 267 yards, 44 and a half average, 1 touchback out of 6, 3 of them inside the 20-yard line. Amazing. And of course, you go over to Denver side of things, fam, just to show you what the Denver Broncos done. Bo Nix 16 of 26 for $164, no touchdowns or interceptions. He wasn't even sacked, like I said, 79.6. They got it on the running attack. Bo Nix kept them good enough for the running attack to abuse the Saints. And Javonte Williams, 14 carries for 88 yards. He averaged over 6 yards per run for 2 touchdowns. Bo Nix scrambled 10 times for 75 yards. He averaged 7.5 yards per scramble. Jaleel McLaughlin ran 4 times for 35 yards. He averaged almost 9 yards a carry. Audric Estamine, 5 carries for 29 yards. He averaged almost 6 yards a carry. So as you can see, it didn't matter who it was. They were getting yardage on the Saints, and the collective 35 carries for 225 yards, 6.4 yard rush average with 2 touchdowns there. They beat the Saints in the running attack. Troy Franklin, 5 catches for 53 for Lucas Crawl for 41 yards. You take a look at the defense. Justin Stenard was the top man with 9 tackles. Levi Wallace, who filled in for Patrick Surtain II, had 8 tackles. Cody Barton had a good game, 8 tackles. He also had a sack and a return for an interception. So they got after even Quan. I forgot Quan Alexander is over there. Yeah, that's right. Quan Alexander is there. He had a tackle in the game. Y'all forgot Quan is there with them. So yeah, Sean Payton just don't stop with all these former Saint players. So anyway, all right. So and then of course you see all this other stuff. Will Lutz with 4 for 4, another former Saint. He put 15 points along with the 2 rushing touchdowns to help run the Saints goofy ass into a loss. So unfortunately, it is what it is. The Saints lose the matchup here, and at some point, us as an organization or a team has to start looking at Dennis Allen or Mickey Loomis side-eyed. I've been doing it, but we can't have this. We can't have this kind of stuff. We need to. This ain't gonna happen. So y'all just stay right where y'all. Will have Dennis Allen excuse making at the end of the press conference here, and we'll see what kind of stuff that he pulls up here. It's just absolutely amazing to me, family. It's pretty bad to see that. And of course, the poll, man, I did the poll in the chat prior to the show starting, asking who would win the game. And of course, we got almost 800 votes, and 61% says the Broncos. All right. Yeah, this is not good, man. It ain't good. All right. So anyway, crazy. All right. Brent says we needed this one close. He says would have allowed excuses. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you for that one, man. Thank y'all, man. I mean, damn. I mean, you won't talk about unsatisfying losses here. With this here, this is just ridiculous. And people say cute, and they're mentioning the sand in the background. I got to turn my damn TV off now because I don't want to hear their mouths now. They're messing up my groove over here. I don't want to hear all that bull. But what I'm saying is about the team, man, as we move forward. And let me put this schedule up on screen. As you can see, 2 blowout wins against Carolina, Dallas, and then their losses. And they're losing, and the losses were close. They lost by 3 to Philly. They lost by 2 to Atlanta. They lost. And then you can start seeing it break apart here. They went from 2, and then they went 26-13, then 51-27, and 30, and then it's at the end of the day, we got a couple of games before the bye week. There's 4 games left going into the rest of, we got a Los Angeles matchup on a long week. Next on the 27th, we go to LA. Then we come back for Carolina. That's most certainly is going to be a win there. And then, of course, Atlanta and Cleveland on weeks 10 and 9 before the Saints hit their bye. So 4 weeks between now and then for the Saints, a softer schedule and kind of getting out of the gauntlet. Los Angeles is not going to be easy. You could probably beat Carolina at some point. But, man, what do the Saints do between now and then? That's the big thing. KB says, I bet you they won't fire DA, fire that possum puss.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, KB, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Listen, and the thing is, you probably right, Queen. But the thing is, like I said, man, the pressure of the Who Dat Nation. I have faith in the Who Dat Nation. I don't have faith in this club because they suck. And listen, no disrespect, but they're dumb, fam. They're dumb. This is dumb leadership here. And it's Mickey Loomis. He's the worst. He's living off rep like he's Sean Payton. There isn't you're nothing without Sean Payton. And that goes to show you when Sean Payton left, look what he's produced. He's nothing without Sean Payton. But he has this idea like he's the guy, like he's some team builder. No, you're not. You're nothing without Sean Payton. Sean Payton exposed Dennis. He exposed Mickey Loomis. When he left, he exposed Dennis Allen. He exposed all of these guys. There were only pieces around Sean Payton. Sean Payton was the glue. And when he left, they didn't get a guy, an alpha dog to run the team. They got this dude, a lap dog, and he can't function like that. So, I mean, in the end, man, the pressure, and the reality is, and like I said, man, it's the same old stuff here. It's the same old stuff. Mickey Loomis is the problem. Mickey Loomis has always been a problem. The last couple of years, he's been the problem. That press conference, the interview with Bobby Hebert on WWL that we reacted to yesterday, that is indicative of Mickey Loomis telling people to go look beyond the results. Look beyond the results. Look beyond the results. Look behind what's results. You at the time he was on a 4-game losing streak. That is usually when you were ringing all of the bells. When you're on a 4-game losing streak, you're pushing the siren. You're sounding the alarms. You're sounding the alarms. You're sounding the alarms. You sounding every alarm that you possibly can sound. You sounding the goddamn alarms. You are. You're not gonna, man, you're not. I promise you, fam. It won't be any other way. There got to be some alarm soundings. How? You're on a 5-game losing streak. 5-game losing streak, falling through the flow, losing their asses off. And then the way they're losing is totally crazy. These people ran for 200 yards on the Saints, and they sit up here pretending like, well, when we get all our guys back, you guys are going to see. No, man, you can't. And even that is so moronic. This is so moronic. It's ridiculous, fam. It's so moronic. It's so moronic what we're seeing here with this. And it will be nothing. It's going to be more crap about we got to clean this up. We got to clean that up. You cannot win. You got to. Oh. You got to sound the alarm, man. You lost 5 games in a row. And he's thinking like, hey, man, we're just going to lay back and let it happen. Yeah, we're going to get healthy and then we're going to win. That's what he was saying. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Oh, it's crazy, man. And the whole thing is if he doesn't fire this guy, and listen, no NFL team in the world after a guy with 3 years would sit up here and keep this man. And if he does that, you know what you got to do. And that's what I'm saying. He's a stubborn fool, man. But like family says, Q, sound alarm. You gotta sound it. You gotta sound the alarm. Sound the alarm. Gotta sound the alarm. I'm sounding the alarm. It's danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Shit. We gotta sound the alarm. Something. They're in dangerous territory. The Saints are 2-5. They're on a 5-game losing streak. They're in a 5-game losing streak. 5-game losing streak. Crazy, man. They're crazy. Now you got Atlanta and Tampa Bay sitting up there at 4-2. The Saints are 2-5, man. They're 1-3 at home. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. But anyway, fam, shout out to y'all, man, for going through this. And it's just we got to be smarter than this, man. We got to be smarter than this, man. I really don't want to hear these people with this. Oh, I'm a ride or die. Man, I don't miss me with all that, bro. I don't want to hear all of that, man. I don't want to hear what people. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't understand when they're being disrespected. I can't deal with that, man. I don't want to be around nobody like that. I don't need them around me, man. I shouldn't have to tell grown ass people when you have issue when you got when people are disrespecting you and just. John says sorry to rain on the parade, but rally is not it. Let start hanging until BC is ready. Yeah, danger. Yeah. In the mystical voice. Yeah, rewind time says Hunter will get one time by linebacker and explode. Right, Antoinette, shout out to you, man. I don't know what to say, man. Yeah, Bay, man. I got to sound the alarm, man. Like, but yeah, I know, bro. I know this is it. There is no team in the NFL. I'm at a loss of words how stupid this is, man. You can't. There is no rationale to explain the antiquated way the Saints are operating and running this team. Mickey Loomis has destroyed the salary cap. He's kicked it into cap hell over the last several years, and now over the next 2 years, you can't make moves that you need to make right now to repair the team because of Mickey Loomis. He blamed it on C-19 and said the C-19 was the reason why they was having issues. He's a liar. And I've been calling this dude out for some time. I told you I exposed Mickey Loomis, and I broke all this down some time ago. That Mickey Loomis is out of his mind. He doesn't need to be the guy. He's operating out of emotion and not logic. And that's why I've been saying for a while that he needs to be pulled away from the general manager position. I ain't saying fire the man. He's a VP. He has the VP and GM job. Strip him of the GM job. But the problem with the Saints organization is there is no brains above Mickey Loomis. Dennis Lawshoe is supposed to be the number one man in the building underneath Gale, the right-hand man. And Gale is a businessman. He don't know shit about football on the field. That's a problem. That's problematic. You can't have a guy. You need more intelligence. You need more intelligence in the highest level of the organization. You need more youth there. And this guy is not going to do. He told people in the end of season press conference that he might stay on for the next 10 years as the general manager. And none of them said, none of them batted the eye. They idiots, man. Can I tell you? Because sooner or later, frauds will be shown. Like I said, this year is unfortunate because we got to go through these lengths because these people are fat. They are blind. And the only thing changes that if you pulling the money back and depriving them of their riches. That's when they really start waking up. So boycotts and ball. I've been saying this for a while, fam. I've been saying this for a while about boycotting the Saints because this is not good football, man. This ain't a good product. I've been saying this for a while. People need to stop playing these games. Stop going down there and wasting your money and your time and complaining. Stop going down there. I keep saying the same dumb shit every time. Stop going down there to throw money at these people with the high ass nachos and the pay to park. Stop going down there. Stand on business, man. Thank you, What's up, Rouse? Good to see you, man. Kamara won't stay with us anymore now. He's free agent after this. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man, for being a member. I've been saying this for a while, fam. None of this is new. I've been saying this for a while because we know what Dennis Allen is here for. It's just business as usual for the Saints. The only people that really give a rat's ass about what the team is doing is you. You're the one losing sleep and being upset about it. You know, we the only one doing it. Here go Dennis Allen. Put this asshole up here. Here we go, man. Hold on, fam. Let me see it. Get him up here.
I don't know if that was announced during the game or not. So that was, and then Lattimore's got a hamstring. Those were the two injuries, I think, were guys. Nick Saldivari, shoulder. Those were the three where guys weren't able to come back into the game and play. You know, I think, you know, you look at this game and there was nothing complimentary about the game. You know, in particular, early on in the game, we weren't really able to get anything going offensively. Defensively, you know, we allowed them to have too many long drives. And so therefore in the first half, I think the time of possession was out of whack. It kind of got a little bit more balanced up as the game went along, but I think that's been a challenge for us. You know, I think we're not winning the line of scrimmage on either side of the ball. I think that's a challenge for us right now. And so, look, we've got, you know, obviously a few days here before we have to play again. We'll go out to LA next week, and we've got to find a way to put our guys in the best position to have some success, and we got to find a way to play better football. And so it's been disappointing. Obviously, look, injuries play a part of it, but we've got to find a way to play better.
Richard Sherman had some pretty harsh words for the team on the broadcast at that time. He said it doesn't look like they want to tackle. It doesn't look like they're putting in any effort. You said last week you still believe in the effort of this team. Do you believe that after watching the last 6 quarters?
Yeah.
There's no quit at any point.
No.
He also went on to say that the defense was playing like a team that wants its head coach fired. Is it something that you are concerned about at this time?
No.
Dennis, what never heard it so many times, and it doesn't necessarily mean quit. It could mean spirit broken, snowball. But I mean, we have not seen. You mentioned your track record earlier this week. We've never seen the defense have 2 performances like this. Or what does lead to that?
Yeah. Look, I think as coaches and as players, we have to do a better job. We got to do a better job throughout the week. Our preparation, we're making mistakes that, you know, we shouldn't be making, and allowing guys to get free. Again, the part of the run game is we have to do a better job of winning the line of scrimmage. That's where it all starts. We have to do a better job of getting off the blocks, and we have to do a better job of tackling. And so, I think us as coaches and players all alike, we've got to figure it out.
Are there bigger concerns like belief, buy-in that you're worried about right now?
No, well, look, I mean, look, it's hard when you lose 5 in a row, and then when you look at all the injuries on top of it, and you know, yeah, it makes it a lot more challenging, and so I think our guys are fighting, and yet the results aren't showing.
Really want to pay attention to the results, insinuating that it's more about the process. How would you evaluate the process right now away from the results that you've seen over the last 5 years?
Well, look, I think it's still got to improve, you know. And again, look, I get it. We have to play better, you know, and I think guys are trying. I think guys are working. You know, we're dealing with a lot of injuries right now, and it's not an excuse. Okay. I don't want anybody to misconstrue that as an excuse. But it is part of it is an issue for us. And I think all of us are trying to fight through that.
Dennis, have you ever experienced so many injuries? I know you had a couple.
No. No, I think, you know, I don't know what that number is in terms of amount of missed time, you know, for guys and critical pieces to our team. But it's the nature of the game that we play.
You mentioned a couple weeks back about gathering information about the injuries to see if there was anything that have you been.
I don't think we've been able to put our, you know, thumb on one individual, you know, thing that's, you know, that's caused these things. I think it's, you know, it's kind of one of those years.
Dennis, the inability to stop the run, especially between the tackles, you mentioned getting beat at the line of scrimmage. Was that a problem that you had maybe seen coming in the offseason? Is something you got to address, or would you say?
No, I don't think that's something that, you know, as we went through the course of training camp and everything, that I felt like that was going to be a major issue for us. But it's become that. It's become that really probably over the last, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. It's you know, each and every week it's kind of gotten a little bit, you know, not as good.
Is that fixable with current personnel?
I think it is. I definitely think it is. And we got to get back to the fundamentals and technique.
This isn't related to the question of effort, but when you have that many injuries, can it be demoralizing to the team? Especially
Yeah, it can be. It can be.
Devo, when he goes out like that.
Yeah, it can be. It certainly can be. And that's something that we have to be able to fight through, you know. You know, and that's the tough part of our league is seeing things like that. But yeah, it can be difficult. Sure.
Why did Spencer Rattler leave the game after 2 minutes?
He got I think maybe a hip pointer, and at that time, I didn't want to leave him in there. I wanted to, you know, put Jake in there. I didn't want to risk him getting hurt any further.
What was the biggest problem he faced? I mean,
I think just the pressure, you know. You know, they sent a lot of pressure at him, gave him some different looks, things that we kind of, not maybe the exact certain look, but you know, they did a lot of the things that we kind of expected that they would do. And so I think we had some opportunities in the passing game. We dropped a few balls. You know, certainly the sacks were an issue, and part of that's protection. Part of that's, you know, him being able to get the ball out. I mean, I think there's a combination of things. So,
obviously you have 10 days to decide, but because of the way you dealt with Jake and Spencer, I mean, Jake doing that in the last 2 minutes?
yeah, look, that was good to see. I think I certainly wouldn't put all this on Spencer Rattler for sure. I mean, I think there's a supporting cast around him that has to play better. But look, I think we'll evaluate the tape. We'll look at it and see what we think we need to do. And then we'll have a plan moving forward.
Do you think it's possible that Derek Carr and or Taysom Hill could both be back for Los Angeles?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's probably more likely that Taysom would be ready before Derek. But, you know, look, we got 10 days, so let's kind of let that play out a little bit and see where we're at there.
Alvin was shown on the video board kind of before halftime. It looks like he was kind of yelling at the sideline. Was he particularly?
I don't know.
Then could you explain the sequence before half? Like just taking time out.
Well, look, we shouldn't have taken the time out is what we shouldn't have done. But you know, we had 2 plays to try to see if we couldn't create something, you know, and then, you know, after having a couple of check downs and some pressure on the quarterback, you know, it was like, let's take a knee, let's get out of the half, let's regroup and come back and we get the ball to start the second half. So I think initially the thought was, can we get a chunk play and maybe have an opportunity to create something? But if not, then let's get out of the half.
Did you call the timeout or did you play?
I'm not sure exactly who called the timeout, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if it was called on the field or not.
There's, you guys talked about Bo Nix's ability to do things outside of the pocket. He wasn't sacked today. He got outside and ran for 75 yards. Was that what you expected, and why wasn't that? Why were you able to corral that?
Well, I think the big play was the, short yardage crack toss play where, they had the numbers over there. It was a good play by them, good design. And that was probably their biggest play. And look, I felt like we had a few times that we had free runners on the quarterback and he's athletic. He made a play. He made us miss, so, but that was certainly something that we were, aware of and probably needed to do a better job of, managing that.
If players are frustrated by this, how do you manage that?
Yeah, you got to stand up and lead. That's what you have to do. You have to stand up and lead, and that's what coaches have to do. That's what the leaders on our team have to do, because we're the only ones that can get us out of this. Okay, nobody. It's not like we're going to have a draft in the middle of the season. Nobody's going to be coming in here to be the savior. We're going to have to do it ourselves, and hopefully we'll begin to get some guys back. Because look, early on in the season, we played good football, so I know this team has it in them. Okay, I got 2 tapes that show me that this team has good football in them, and it's got good coaching in them. But right now we're not playing that way, and obviously there's multitude of reasons why, and we got to figure out how to get back to playing that type of football, because I've seen it done. I've seen what it looks like.
With a Devo, does that type of injury require like emergency surgery?
I think he's going to have surgery tonight. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, it's another playmaker. I mean, we got our rookie quarterback out there with some backup players on the offensive line playing in front of him, and the 2 primary receivers are out of the game. So that it's another challenge that you have to overcome, as a young player. And so he's an explosive element to our offense. He's an explosive element to our team, the special teams, so yeah, that's a big loss.
Dennis, the approach the next few days, do you turn the screws on the team?
No, here's the approach. The approach is that we're gonna come back in on Monday, which would be a Thursday night kind of schedule. All right. Monday's going to be like a normal day after the game Monday. I want guys to get some rest. I want guys to get some recovery. I want them to get their bodies back. The guys that are injured are going to be spending the weekend in here getting themselves healthy. And then we'll start planning for, the Chargers. But I think over the next few days, for me and for the coaches, I think we just got to look at, everything that we're doing and where we're at and how we can help our guys be better. That's what we got to do as coaches.
Do you want a normal Thursday schedule?
No, but we're going to be working. It's easy to work remote now. I'm gonna go see my son in Savannah.
Is Kendrick Miller on a snap count in this game?
I thought he played well. I thought the plays, when we handed him the ball, I thought he did some good things. I wish we would have caught the one ball over the middle, but I was impressed with what I saw out of Kendra. I think that's a guy that can help us. Okay, guys, thanks.
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, nigga, and I dare motherfucker to.
She might call me fan or friend, but I'm the cleanup man.
The reason I know so much about him is because he's moved up an old girl of mine.
Swept her right off her feet and into the jag.
goodness. This is very interesting, to say the least. Very interesting. Shout out to Rewind the Time, says we need one good draft class to change everything like 2006 and 2017 did. We need it bad. Thank you, fam. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man, for that. All right. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all, man. All right. Go Maha says, yo, Q, you know we need some Willie and his mama's. Oh man, yeah. Sliff said we in dark times here. Yeah, there you go, Valika. You can dance to that. All right. So yeah, this is interesting, man, because the I mean, like I said, fam, we kind of seen this kind of happening. We've seen this progressing and happening with the Saints team. 0-5 just don't happen to your ass. You know, you see cracks and fractures along the team. I was questioning the team's ability to get guys involved, like the running attack. They kept rolling out these offensive linemen. I kept saying that these guys are not good, that they need to find other offensive linemen to kind of get involved here. Find some other personnel as soon as you can, that sort of thing. But what the Saints have been doing up to this point hasn't been enough, and that's why they keep failing. That's tonight wasn't even a competitive game of football. It wasn't even competitive. The Saints had a few stops defensively, but offensively, they weren't even ready to play. They couldn't run block. You know, there were people dropping passes. You know, even if you have a rookie quarterback, you got to play. You got to have a very high level of play. And the Saints didn't do that. They could not get into the running attack, which is why I said they will lose the game, because I don't believe they can run the ball. And Clint Kubiak showed me again that he has players, but they can't get into the running back. Even when they try to run or stretch the play, they couldn't even block along the edges, which that shows me some of them guys need to get out of here, man. You got to get those guys out of here, man. You can't have bum-ass interior offensive linemen like that don't know what they're doing, that can't block. I mean, dude, we don't need these bums. If you got to go out and hit the practice squad or sign people off the free agent list, do something else, because whatever they're doing is not working. They're failing. They've lost 5 games in a row. This is horrible. You know, there's there's not they have the Patriots are the only other team that they're currently losing. They're on a 5-game losing streak. The Patriots are 1-5. And really the strongest win the Saints have is, I guess you could say, against the Cowboys, who are really struggling too. But as other people have caught up and the Saints have showed themselves, the defense has completely collapsed. And you could say injuries or whatever it is, but in the NFL world, you're not allowed to use injuries as an excuse, even though he uses injuries as an excuse to justify why the team is performing. You can't do that. And the reason you can't use injuries is because you have access to other people's practice squads. You have access to the trades prior to the trade deadline, and you have free agency there. You have 3 different ways you can improve this team to get better players in here to fortify the team until some of the starters get back, if they get back. Because you got some guys ain't gonna make it back. And what if some of these guys that you hoping to get back have a delay in their rehab process? What are you gonna do then? You can't sit up here and wait for some of these guys to come back. You got to go out and get better backups. There are such a thing as better backups. You can't sit here and use this. You have 3 ways you can improve the team. And the Saints are not doing any of those right now. They're not attacking these things. They're not trying to get any trades. They're not trying to do any of this stuff. They're just sitting here excuse making about, well, we're going to just over rely on the injuries excuse. Or we get these guys back, we're going to win. Look how we looked when we had our full team. But you're not always going to have all of those guys so that you can run your offense efficiently. You got to be able to adjust with injured players and use personnel that you have. They failed miserably today. Tonight, actually. I don't know what to say about it, man. like I said, this defense, this team ran all over the Saints tonight. Over 200 yards rushing on the Saints tonight. 200 yards rushing. 225 yards rushing. They averaged 6.4 yards rushing on the Saints tonight. Basically, they beat the Saints because it wasn't Bo Nix. He didn't throw any touchdowns. It was the running attack about the Broncos that put 2 touchdowns, and Will Lutz kicked the rest of the field goals to put the lead at where it is. Saints score a garbage time touchdown on the back end. But remember what we talked about in prior streams, fam. This is all very necessary. It's all very necessary because eventually you have to get from around, you got to get from Dennis Allen being there. At some point, Dennis Allen and the team, you got to face it down. You got to face it down. It has to happen. Like, for you to get better, it's a purge process that has to happen that the universe is doing to the Saints right now. Like, there's tests like to prove that if you are who you say you are, if you're a really good coach and a general manager, then you would navigate these trials and tribulations the Saints are currently having in a way that would bring success to the team in terms of wins. Right now, there's no point of any season I would dare say that the Saints could afford to undergo a 5-game winning streak, and then over the next 4 games, the Saints you give them a chance with at least the Carolina Panthers, because you got the Chargers, the Panthers, you got the Browns, and somebody else in the mix. It's putrid, man. It's horrible. But at the same time, it's necessary. We got to get behind these people, man. Yeah, the Chargers, at Carolina, and then Atlanta on week 10, and then Cleveland. The way they playing, the only team they got a chance against Carolina. Because the Chargers is not going to be easy on them. Atlanta's going to play hard. And Cleveland, they'll be at least competitive before they get to the bye week. So how many games do the Saints lose over the next 4 games? The next month worth of games. And you can't sit here and wait to see if the team turns around. You're already on a 5-game slide. And then the team looks worse after the Tampa Bay game. It was half the game. Like, they fell apart in half the game. They didn't even show up in this game offensively. They didn't show up. That's why I was saying I was being real. Like, man, I'm not picking the Saints to win against this team, man. They can't even run the ball, fam. You can't run the ball. They don't have a chance. You got a rookie quarterback running around doing all this stuff, and the kid running around trying to do something. They sacked the man 6 times, bro. 6 times, and he had 2 what they call fumbles, which was, it's amazing. You're right. Dave says, you got it right, Dave. No excuse. You find a way. That's why they're making all that money. That's why they're making all of the money. They make all of that money because ain't no excuses in this stuff. Here go the schedule right here, fam. I got it on screen here for you. See that? They got the Chargers up next, October the 27th. Following week, they got Carolina in Carolina. So Chargers at Chargers, Carolina at Carolina. Then they come home for 3 straight games, but Atlanta and Cleveland. And then they hit the bye week in week 12. Then they come out the bye against the Rams. And then they really get, after the bye week, it gets real serious because Washington looks different. The Giants and all these other teams, we're not even worried about them, but you can't lose no more games here, man. You done lost five in a row, and you got a bye week to think about it. But it's horrible, man. Let's hear from you guys. Y'all got any questions? Please feel free to throw them in the chat. Please feel free to throw them in the chat if you have any questions. Gomaha23 says, isn't Dennis Allen a defensive mastermind? He's supposed to why is the team looking like this? You know what I'm saying, bro? Why is the team looking like this if Dennis Allen's a defensive mastermind, right? What's the excuse? You heard the reporter ask the question to Dennis Allen, right? The reporter asked the question about Dennis Allen, about, asking him about players and, this type of stuff. And he was like, no, I don't believe that happened. Are you in fear of losing your job or getting fired? No. Even reality speaking, you are not doing a good job. Your team is underperforming. They quit on you in the Tampa Bay game. They offense didn't even show up to play. They wasn't even competent. And he answers the question with all the confidence in the world. No, how can a person, how can a coach that hadn't in the years that he's been here hasn't gotten you a playoff? In the 2 years he's been here, no playoffs. He's currently on a 5-game losing streak. Be so confident to say no. He can at least answer with that honesty and say, man, listen, any coach that's in these type of situations will have some fear of losing their job because this is not where you want to be. This bastard said no. So, like I said, at the end of the day, this is the systemic of the Mickey Loomis problem. The Mickey Loomis issue is huge. It is a very difficult place to be in. It is not going to be fixed until it's too late. Like if the guy loses 2 more games or something like that, then he'll be forced to make a change. But it'll be too late to bring in the interim coach to try to turn the season around. The point is you fire him now and you try to salvage your season. You don't let this drag on. You have to know that this is bad and you have to be able to do something drastic to turn it around. You don't sit there and pretend like when we get some guys back, we're going to win and we got to look beyond the results. None of that make any sense. You know, that's an idiot's way of thinking. Mickey Loomis is out of his mind, man. And this is the thing about Mickey Loomis. It's a stubborn jackass of a guy that refuses to heed any word that's common sense that's not coming from him. So if you're a person that's hitting him with stats and facts and showing him shit, he gonna talk about look beyond the facts, look beyond the stats, look beyond what's going on with the team. What are you looking at if you're not looking at the facts or the stats? If you ain't looking at that, I don't want to look at nothing. I don't want to look at it if it ain't factual or if it ain't standing on business. I don't care what the hell it is. It's trash TV to me. I'm not interested in that low vibrational BS. I don't want that. So if it ain't nothing dealing with facts and empowerment, man, get that out of here, man. And that's what it should be with him. But he acts that way because you don't want his decisions or his moves to be criticized. He hates when people criticize his moves. He got real thin skin, very thin skin. And he's up here with who he is, and he's not really up here. He's way down here because he ain't shit without Sean Payton. He was just an expensive gopher, and I'm just keeping it real. He has no managerial skills whatsoever as a general manager to get involved, to get hands-on, to kind of check Dennis Allen. He doesn't iron out wrinkles on the team. Guys have fractured locker rooms. He doesn't deal with none of that. He keeps his goddamn door closed. Even the reporters talked about that. He don't talk to the players. But at the end of the season last year, you won't go do a stupid ass speech at the back of the season talking about it's going to be, you're not going to be comfortable. And then what good your dumb ass speech do now? The same team sitting up here 2-5, they're on a 5-game losing streak. Man, get out of here, man. Let them have it. Let them have it with both barrels. Both barrels, let them have it. Let them feel all of that. The guy is a joke, man. He tore up the Saints salary cap situation by kicking the can for years and try to blame it on C-19. Clown. Charlatan. Fraud. I've been exposing Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis, all this stuff and all this. I picked Sean Payton. Yeah, you picked Sean Payton. You did a good job there, but that's just about it. After that, you was a gopher. If you was that good, why don't you go pick another Payton? You were lucky. And then when Payton left, because you tried to keep him here, because you don't have any vision, that's what they do. He put his paws and grasping his claws on Sean Payton, try to keep him and Drew Brees here. And these guys way beyond the time they're supposed to be here. And then you got Drew Brees playing into his 30. He can't even use his right arm no more, and they still not looking to move on to find a predecessor. They could have drafted a Mahomes or even a Lamar Jackson. They chose Marcus Davenport over Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson is the top 3 quarterback in the NFL. You won't tell me these people serious about winning something? KB says, Q, when we call out Allen and Mickey on BS, we are not qualified or don't know football. When we don't go to the games, we broke from the economy. He did say that too. Basically, we know football if we compliment them. Trash. And yes, he's a hypocrite. He did say that. He lied about it. That Detroit game last year when people were selling their tickets to the Detroit people and the reporters was asking them about, damn, there seemed to be a lot of Saints people that sold their tickets to Detroit people. And he blamed it on the economy and said that the people needed the money. He's a liar, man. Y'all remember that? Put 1 in the chat if you remember that. The dude is a liar, man. He would deny. He know the people are upset and frustrated. He takes this hard line stance, like, this is my team. I'm gonna do what I want. Then you got to make him pay. You got to chastise him, because one of him can't beat the millions of us. He can't do shit with us. He can't pay for them tickets by himself. He can't do nothing. Just a little old man eating clam chowder and orange juice, thinking he got something that he don't. You don't have no power, man. You have as much power as we allow you to have, and when we get pissed, we'll take it away from you. That's real. That's facts. L-Dub says some of those players probably have talked to Richard Sherman behind the scenes. That's probably why Sherman said, well, what he said. Miss Lane's mail said, I never understood the Foskey move. I don't think he could develop talent like Peyton sometimes. Foskey's not a bad pickup for the Saints. I just think right now, man, we just not getting the best out of our players, especially on the defensive line. You know, I thought Ty Grantham. Now, I remember they made a change at the defensive line. They brought in Ty Grantham. Originally, it was Neil. I think, wasn't it Ryan Nielsen was the defensive line coach prior to him having promotion. Ty Grantham was a guy that they brought in, and Grantham is not as fundamental with his stuff as you would say, like a guy like Ryan Nielsen or one of those type of guys. So when you see the defensive line guys developing, I got to look at the defensive line coach at first and then go from there. But remember, they made the switch to Grantham, and Grantham got a lot of college experience, but he doesn't stand out as a coach. That's like one of a guy that's a developer of talent, like somebody that could take somebody and do some great stuff with it. The Saints might need to look again at that position, because we got a lot of athletic talent right there that simply doesn't look where it look like they should look. Usually when that happens, you got to start at the position coach and see what's going on there. You know what I mean? A-Camp, what's up, brother? Says, let any player that wants to go and see if DC wants to be traded or figure out a way out of his contract. These guys are all older and they won't compete for the players. We're trapped into the window, bro. They got to play the window out as it stands. They trapped in the window. You know, if you start trying to get rid of and trade these guys, you're going to be hit with severe dead money. You can't have the dead money coupled with all other stuff is going on. That's why you got to let the contracts play out the way they play, so it can organically go away. So you can't really, you know, try to a raw hatchet to the team. That's what I was saying. When you finally detach Dennis Allen away from your team, you can begin the healing process, because it's not just chopping him off. It's a lot of stuff that need to be rectified, although he's the biggest part of it. We were talking about that on the show, on the Patreon special. You know, firing Dennis Allen is the beginning. It's not the end. It's the beginning of the healing process, because then you would have to then get rid of all of the bad things that happened during his administration over the last 3 years, because he did a lot of F stuff here, you know. Yeah, you're right, KB. Look beyond the results. He said that. Mickey Loomis says that. He says a lot of stupid stuff, man. A lot of dumbness. Like, he said something foolish. We talked about it the other day when he talked about this comedy line about looking beyond the results. The results of the team is 0-5. They're losing. They're not even playing a good, respectable brand of football, but I'm supposed to look beyond that. He also said the reason why the Saints were missing tackles, and they missed tackles in this, a bunch of tackles in this game too. The reason why the Saints were missing tackles is because of the shortened practice periods that the NFL agreed to. Now, never mind, he wasn't saying that bullshit when the Saints were kicking people in their ass on weeks 1 and 2. But all of a sudden, after the four-game losing streak, the problem becomes because of the tackles. See, I mean, the NFL changed the product of how many times you could practice. That's why I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Well, then how you explain all these other teams that are tackling and winning games? It's only a problem. The tackling schedule or the practice schedule is a problem now because your team is losing. They're on a 4-game losing streak. That explains all of these double-digit games in which the Saints are missing tackles because of the NFL changing the practice schedule, which is something that you knew in advance of months ago, and the team went through it months ago, and it wasn't an excuse you used in weeks 1 or 2, but just one you're going to pull out your ass for weeks 3 on back. And then in the same breakdown, really in the same segment as he's talking about that, he then goes in to say the answer is that we got to practice more. Well, how are we going to practice more when the NFL already designated a certain amount of practice where you can't practice, dummy? So it's just like he just talks in circles. It's not logical. It's just spinning a narrative, which he just gonna keep doing what he want to do, and that's what we are. I mean, I can't explain no clearer than that. This dude, I've literally just dissected this guy, man. I've been telling the family members about this dude for a while now. I've been telling them. I say I listened to the dude. I heard all his interviews. I know how he thinks. I've already deciphered and broke down his pattern, the behavior pattern. I already realized and found out that I found his negative quality. He's a fake elitist. He wants to demean people who don't agree with him. He'll call you. He'll tell you you're not qualified twice. He'll tell you that you're this dude called and told the people that they're unsophisticated or not. What he said that you're it's classless. He used the terms classless when describing people that was criticizing his calls and his decision making. So if you agree with him, he all good with you. But when you decide to go against his calls, the calls is a screw up. He don't want to hear that. So you're unsophisticated. You're lazy. You're unqualified twice. You're not qualified to talk about his team or his coaches. This is what this clown do. This is an employee ass dude up here. He's an employee for somebody else talking like he's Bill Gates or somebody. This dude's crazy, man. He's crazy. I've been telling y'all about it. And then when he started talking like that, I started pinpointing it. The media ain't going to say it. They're not going to say it because they don't want to lose the press badge to go up there and write the stories and do all that. And I understand that, but I don't have nothing to do with that. You ain't got no power over me, Playboy. Because I'll run it at you all day if I got to get you out of there. Rico says, Q, listen to the post-game speech. Yeah, I got it on there, brother. I must be way up there. Yeah. L-Dove says, what's going to be Mickey's excuse when they asked him why all the fans started leaving the dome in the third quarter? Probably some lie he'll make up. Saints looking more dysfunctional than the Raiders. They become the Raiders, right? A-Camp says Carr wasn't even the best option on the team last season. That's why they got Jameis up out of here, because they even knew he was better than Carr. But she was a competition for Derek Carr. You've seen that happen. That plays out with his off-coach Dennis Allen, who put Spencer Rattler as the emergency quarterback, even though he beat Jake Hayner in the preseason and won the job real. That's why when Derek Carr got hurt, he reached to the third quarterback and put him over Jake Hayner, because he knew he won the job, but he placed him as a third quarterback and created Jake as a buffer quarterback to take the pressure off of Derek Carr, because he didn't want family members yelling from the stands when Derek Carr threw picks. So he removed him out of the picture and made him an emergency quarterback. That's what kind of games you got going on here. Total violation of competition. You don't do that to players. He'll do it, though. But don't feel no kind of way. You can lose 5 games in a row in the NFL, and he'll answer the question, no, I don't feel like I'm getting fired. Any man that's real, or any person, period, know that they screwing up like that. There's a concern in their mind. To keep it real, listen, when you lose 5 games in a row, sometimes people going to question whether or not you should be the head coach of the team. That would have been a serious response. He said no straight up. It's all good. They can't win. Yeah, he's sensitive. Mickey Loomis is that. I'm not saying nothing that's not true. That's why I sit up here and imitate him. I done figured the guy out so much so, fam, that I start imitating him. Like I pick up his tones, and nobody imitates Mickey Loomis. They wasn't doing that. But I did that to besmirch Mickey Loomis and to make fun of him and ridicule him because of his behaviors, what happens with the Saints and organization, how he treat people. So what's good for the goose, Loomis, is good for the gander. So that's what I do. So I make silly songs and say stuff like he'll say and stuff like that, because that's what it is. We need to get this right. Lewis says, Q, I'm honestly happy that this happened. And we all know it would take rock bottom 5 times over change to happen. Indeed, and I've said this to the family members. Listen, this is how change happens. You got it's a purge process that's undergoing right now. It's cutting away of all of the things that don't need to be here. All of the fat has to go off. It has to get cut off. It has to get chopped off, macheted off. It got to get macheted off. It has to. For the team to get back to winning, it has to. All these people that aren't supposed to be here need to be purged. And that's what nature is taking care of it for you. So it gives you these tests. It gives you these stepping stones. It gives you these things, these tests to see if you can pass. And if you don't have the intestinal fortitude, of the intelligence, of the discipline, then you're going to fail. You got to go. And that's like in life. When you get certain people get to high positions, they don't do it the right way. That's why they suffer when they get there. They lose their mind, they go crazy, all this kind of stuff. Or they cheat and they do stuff they ain't supposed to do. And anyway, they end up getting their issue when they do that, because ain't no cheating the game. You can't get beyond, even though you think you're getting ahead, you're not really getting ahead, because you're trying to get something that you don't deserve or you can't handle. And it usually end up tearing your ass up some kind of way. That's how it go. So at some point, a fake pretender like Dennis Allen got to fall sooner or later. And he might have an idiot, chump, mark, asshole, simpleton like Mickey Loomis running the team. But at the end of the day, he'll go down with him. That's how it's going to go. Watch this. You think Mickey Loomis could stand up against the Who Dat Nation and the rest of these people when all this start happening? This is the beginning of the fall. This is when hard-headed people really start seeing the team as what it is and be saying, damn, I have to stop going down there. No shit, Sherlock. Welcome to the party. This is what we've been saying. Stop wasting time and wasting money and join with the rest of the people and stop going down there and playing these games. Keep your money in your pocket. This is a tough economy anyway. I don't understand why we putting up with this shitty ass team putting money in their pockets anyway and they disrespecting. You know how tough it is out here? Take your goddamn money and grow a garden in your back of your house. Pay off your bills. Give it to your children. Buy some clothes. Buy some tires. You know, like I said, buy some seeds. Grow some shit. Buy some stocks and some bonds. Do something you can get a real return on your money. Take it away from them. Only for a time, and sooner or later, and when they will get right with you. That's how it go. That's called economic boycotts, man. That's what it's about. That's how you get people right. I've been telling these people this for some time, fam. I've been telling them over and over again. Stop going down there, man. Stop running your ass down there, sticking up in front of them, facing them people, only turning out losing ass performances and leaving you pissed and wasting your time, man. Stop going there, man. Get your ass out of there, man. Come on. Shit. Shit. It's out of your ass. I got mad at the people right quick, family. God damn it. Get your ass out of there. It's like a grumpy pop somewhere. What you doing out there? Get your ass out of there, boy. Man, but I love them, man. I love my peoples. The mighty Who Dat Nation, man. We got to stand on business, fam. It's time. I've been saying it, man. I got love for my peoples, man. Thank you, man. Jack says, Dennis is not a team builder. He's a team destroyer. Yes, sir. With his code of behavior, it was only a matter of time for him to bring it all down to his level. Yes, indeed, fam. I told y'all, I said, listen, there is no off code. I'm big on this universe thing, fam. You know why? Let me tell you, man. In history, there is like they talk about all these holy people. Listen, the best servers are family of the divine most high of people that went through it all. Like they had to learn them lessons, fam. You know, some of this stuff you had to actually go through more than once before it had an impact on you in a way it made you see it. Some instances we learn right away. Some instances we got to go through and repeat it before we get tired enough to say, man, I'm sick of that. Serious. That's life. That's game. So, but there's literally rules that you can't get around. So the demons want to pretend like you could do whatever you want to do. When they tell you that, that's destroy right there. You can't get around the rules, man. This whole system, the beautiful universe was set up with rules and regulations and guidelines. And they so strict and strong that the Most High don't even violate them. He follows the rules and guidelines. Like he's not going to, Most High not going to put opportunity in your hand unless you're ready for it. You're not going to drop nothing in your hands that you're not ready for, man. He don't work like that. It's only the ones that want to divert the system. And those are the ones that lead you to destruction. They try to teach you that being free and being wild in a society where they got killer diseases running around is the way to go. And they try to make it look like it's all free and all this. That's bullshit. That's death and destruction, man. That's bullshit. But like I said, but the rules and regulation and guidelines of how things work, you learn them as best you can, or you will. I mean, that's the point. You don't get to another level in development without learning the lessons of those rules And the way we learn is by going through to trials and tribulations. And it's your mindset that determine when you make those trials and tribulations into stepping stones. That's becomes maturity or spiritual and mental maturity to understand that these obstacles are for your development. And that's how we learn and grow as a force, as a people, as a being, a sentient being in the universe. You have to be tested. You have to be tested. Some of them you're gonna fail, some of them you're gonna pass, but at the same time, you're gonna keep going through it until you win. And when you win, you go up to another level of development. It goes on and on until you leave to go to the next level. That's how it works. So in the end, man, that's what I just try to speak word to people, man, tell people the game. Because hey, man, the bottom line is it's a lot of lying, foolish garbage. But at the end of the day, we'll figure it all out with the right mindset. We'll figure it all out. But you got to have discipline. You got to have respect for yourself first before you can ever have it for anybody else. Ain't nobody out here can talk about respecting you, that they got respect for you, and you look at them and they don't even have respect for themselves. They don't respect themselves. They can't respect you because they don't know how to. You don't get involved in one-way relationships. If you see it's a one-way relationship, you get out of it because you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. And getting hurt is not fun. Getting hurt is not fun, which is a test in its own right. Because you get hurt, you got to know how to handle that. And you can't get bitter. Getting bitter and when you get hurt is a natural reaction, but you can't get bitter with nobody. You got to be able to translate that energy into something the opposite of it and make that about the lesson of learning that experience. And when you do that, then it empowers you. But doing it that other way, you cannot get bitter. It will destroy you. That's not what it is. Bitter is wrong. So what we participate in, we have the right mentality to understand, hey, man, I made a mistake right there. I made a bad decision. Let's rectify it. Now, when we talk about Saint talk, it's the same thing. Just withdraw funds, pull your funds away from them. That's all. Don't buy nothing from them. While you're doing that, buy funds opposite, like you show a shirt saying this, that, and the third, fire, dinner, salad, stuff like that. That kind of stuff. You want to invest in some merch, do that. Invest in merch that speaks the message of what you got going on, or invest in something that speaks the message that you feel. But don't get them people none of your money. They don't deserve it. I'd be goddamn, I have that some bitch talking reckless and all that kind of stuff to people. And he the one making the decisions. You getting mad at me for checking you on your decision making and it's bad and it's hurting the team right now. And you mad at me for checking you. That's mental, man. You can't be mad at me for checking you on bad decisions that you're doing. That's off code, man. I'm supposed to check you. I'm supposed to check you. If I care about you, if I love you, I'm going to check you. If I don't, I'll let you fall. That ain't got nothing to do. You see what I'm saying? Dude. They got to make it through it. Now, they talking about it is ridiculous, these injuries. But at the same time, fam, listen. That's what depth charts are for. Let's not get lost in the minor shit. You know, like they said, that's not major in the minors here. The reality is the injuries are going to happen, whether they happen to you early or happen to you during the middle of the season or help until you're late. Injuries are going to happen because it's a physical game. These guys running that into each other at high speeds and people going to get hurt out there. So you have to be able to create a depth chart that's strong enough to absorb these injuries. And the thing about it is you won't be able to find an extra Elvin Kamara. That's not the point. The point is you have to be able to get guys that can help you keep running the ball. Like you can have a strong running unit. If you fortify the offensive line with strong run blockers so that you can run the ball when things get tight because you're missing this guy, that guy to keep the ball moving to help your defense rest and get into your play action bag, you're going to be all right. Now, there were questions about the Saints offensive line. When we started this year, we were questioning who these guys were. The Nick Sell-DeVaris never playing a down. The Shane Lemieux, who was constantly getting hurt, and then he hurt now. You got him starting that one game, and he got hurt after one game. You got all these other guys. They had to pull the guy off the practice squad, and he's kind of a mixed bag there, but you got to keep trying. You got to pull these other guys out and put them in. Why is your Ali Udo still on this team? How bad he looked. He looked so bad they didn't put him out there. But why is he still here? Why isn't they find somebody else that they move in there? That you got to constantly be, when you see, fam, if there's injuries impacting your team like that, the Saints should be the busier. If the people are telling me, Q, the Saints team is being hit with more injuries than any other team in the NFL. That could be true. If that is indeed the case, the Saints should be the most active team in the NFL because of said injuries. They should be more active than any other team. If injuries are hitting your team like that, you should be moving and grooving, hitting the practice squads, looking at the trade market, looking at the free agent market. You should be the most active team in the NFL. They are not doing that. So they're just sitting up here while the injuries hit the team, and they just doing basic moves like the injuries ain't like, extravagant. Like this is a regular. They're saying the injuries are, there's a lot of injuries, but their emotions are not moving in the same energy to meet the demand. If you have all these injuries, you're supposed to be moving and bringing players in at breakneck speed to not only just deal with the injured, but find better backups than the guys that you have. I'm not saying nothing that's not factual. This is proof. This is truth. We're not the only team to deal with injuries. You got to win games while your starters are out, because if you lose and when you get your starters back, you're going to be in a hold. You're going to be in a deep hole. The season going to be over with. And then the cold-blooded, let me sprinkle this on you, fam. The cold-blooded part about it is also, I'm going to get ready to get on about here, but the cold-blooded part about it too is that the Saints have the next 4 games before the bye, right? They have Atlanta 3 weeks from now in the Superdome on November the 10th. That'll be the final of the 2 games. So they'll be done with all the NFC South rivals except for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is the final game of the regular season. That we'll see them in Tampa sometimes next year, earlier next year. That's a whole nother different effect. So you can't lose you got them in 3 weeks. You lose to them again. That's a problem. Whether you get Derek Carr back or not, getting Derek Carr back, getting Derek Carr back is not the answer. The answer is getting a running attack. You need somebody to run the ball, fam. You got to find offensive linemen that run the ball. These guys are not cutting it. We've given them like 3 to 4 games, and these guys keep doing the same stuff. They can't block. They're not disciplined. They're weak. They're dumb. They get pushed over. They're late to block, and it's just what it is. You got to find better players. You wait too long, you're gonna be too far in the hole. They've on a 5-game losing streak, and even if they'll get Taysom Hill back, but you gonna get Taysom hurt trying to run him in the teeth of that bullshit offensive line. They can't even move anybody. That's how overusing Taysom Hill to run the ball. And the guy doesn't know how to the offensive coordinator doesn't know how to use his guys. He don't know how to use Kendre Miller. He gave the ball early to Kendre Miller. He had a few good runs, and then he went away from Kendre Miller and didn't give him the ball until later on in the game when he started running. But by that time, it was too late because they were so far behind because the offense kept going 3 and out. They didn't do anything that they had to a degree, abandon the running attack because they needed to catch up. So it's just, do you expect them to beat the Chargers next week on extra time? Man, listen, if they can't run the ball, that offensive line, it's the same answer. If they can't run the ball, they're going to lose to the Chargers. They're going to go out to the West Coast and lose to the Chargers. And not only just running the ball, but the Saints defense can't stop the run. So they have major issues on both lines, interior line, defensive line, and O-line. They cannot run the ball, and the defense cannot stop the run. That is dire. That's dire. They allowed 200-something yards a day. I keep thinking about it, man. It's ridiculous. They allowed, my goodness, 225 yards today at a 6.4 yard rush clip. Insane. The insanity of all. I don't know, Dave. I don't. He can't. What I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think the thing with Clint Kubiak is a weakness of him is adjusting to his talent. Like the guys are there. Like you can see him literally struggling to get other people involved with the offense, not name the top guys. Like it looks good when he has some of the top guys because you can rely on them because they're difficult. But like we said at the top of the year, we called them mismatch nightmares, which is guys that hard to defend for. Well, Rashid Shaheed is hurt. He's done for the year. Chris Olave is banged up with the concussion. Elvin Kamara has broken ribs and dealing with other issues. Taysom Hill was broken ribs as well. He was listed out. So your mismatch nightmares are missing in action. You're out of the four mismatch nightmares that I utilized. You only got one remaining. And they're over relying on him. He can't get other guys involved. That's the problem with Clint Kubiak. That's the biggest problem. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks, watching what he's doing. I'm like, dude, he wasn't doing that when he had those other guys. That's why I was telling him, bro, you need to get these other guys involved. So if something, you spread out the load. And that's how you help them learn the system. But he refused to use Jordan Mims. He refused to use Dallin Hawker. He refused to use some of these other guys. Jamal Williams is still not getting no carries, especially in the second half of the game when north-south downhill runners would work for you. He don't get them involved in the game. He's not like quarter-centric like you, even if you're organized enough to know how to dissect areas of the game to know where you can use certain players. They don't even do that because that helps you out. Like, let's use in the second half, let's spread them out. Let's hit them with some of these north-south running backs. Let's hit Kendre Miller. Let's use Jamal Williams to pound these guys out. But then again, it probably wouldn't even make a difference because they can't freaking run block anyway, which is his fault. You don't line these shitty offensive linemen up here and pretend like they can run and they can't even operate the system. And then they practice all week long and they tell you we had a really good practice this week. That's what they said. And then you get into the game and those guys don't even look like they even practice. So we got a bunch of Hall of Fame practice. That's what I called them last year, where they keep telling me we had a solid week of practice. We ready for the game. And then they get in there and they look like they didn't practice. I don't get it. But at the end of the day, man, they got an extra amount of time here to kind of rebuild, to get away. And Dennis Allen said they need to get away for a little bit, let them heal up and come back at it. And we'll see where it falls, man. But it's a long week for the Saints to think about the 5-game losing streak and how they can change it around. But until I see them make the moves necessary to fix the interior offensive line, I'm not expecting much out of them, fam. If you cannot win, if you can't run the ball, you won't win. The Saints won't win games if they can't run the ball because they can't get into their play action to get into the bag. That's how it works. You must run. And if they can't run, then they won't win. Simple as that. No matter who the quarterback is, you think Rattler look bad, put Derek Carr back there and see what he looks like with no running attack. Oh, my bad. Y'all seen that before. It won't work, fam. I'm sorry to give you I hope this ain't gloomy game for y'all guys, man, but it's true. It's true talk. SK says, I can't blame Dennis Allen on this one. Starting QB, wide receiver 1 and 2, RB, all out. Bro, no. You got it. If it ain't my damn fault. He the head coach of the team. Yes, the blame falls on him because if he knows his guys are out, you got to get other guys involved. That's what a depth chart is for. So yes, blame is when you lose the game 33-10, you didn't produce anything. Yes, blame is involved because it's either one or two things. It's going to be credit or criticism. That's the two things that happen from game to game. You either give them credit when they win or criticism when they lose. That's how it go. It's either credit or criticism. In this criticism, in this game, the offense did nothing. They practiced during the week. They've been practicing with the same personnel, not yielding any results, and they're not doing anything different. It's not just this week is indicative of the last several weeks of bad football. This just don't happen. They don't get the 0-5 over 5 games for nothing. It don't happen like that. They don't just fall into a hole all of a sudden. No, this has been over time, them not doing the right things. And that's where we at. Credit and criticism, bro. We don't go. No, I don't play that shit. Because I give Dennis Allen credit when he deserves it, and I give him criticism. But that's balance. You can't ask for no fairer than that. Yes, you better put that credit on his ass. I mean, that criticism on his stinking ass. Rising says, Q, what are the scouts doing? Bro, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, bro. It's a lot of, they need to do a lot of introspection now, bro. A lot of people got to look at themselves. When you got an 0-5 loss like this, 0-5 losing like this, at some point you got to do introspection. You got to start looking at everything and everybody. You might have to take jobs away from certain guys and promote other guys. You got to look at everything because you got to turn it all around. And I ain't just saying, I'm saying coaches, looking at assistant coaches and seeing if you move somebody. If Clint Kubiak can't figure it out, let's put Dennison in there. Let's see what Rick Dennison. Let's see, Rick, let me see what you can do. Can you call some of these plays? Clint, take a little sit back and me use Rick Dennison here. Let him get control of the offense for a little bit, see what we can do here for a game. Defensive line coach Grantham, let's kind of switch some stuff up. Let the defensive top assistant be the guy here to kind of run the defensive line. Let's see, just kind of switch some stuff up. The starting lineup. You got the interior defensive tackles not playing. Let's move Nate Shepard out of there. Let's put somebody else there, see how that works out. That's what you got to do. You got to move guys out and put guys in. You got to switch up the lineup. You can't keep rolling the same people out there. You got to switch it up to see what it looks like, just to give it a shot. You can't keep rolling the same stuff out there, man. It ain't going to work because somebody's flubbing up, something's stinking, and you got to get to the bottom of it. You got to do some introspection. You got to do an investigation on your team and yourself to figure out what's wrong and what's going wrong and what I need to do. And at the top of the food chain, or at the top of the team is Mickey Loomis, who needs to be really active, getting players that are better than the backups we got. You got to keep moving guys in and out. You're on a 0-5 losing streak. You have to figure out a way to stop this. You have to be super active to do something about this to stop it. And they're not super active about it. Mickey Loomis is not alarmed at all. You heard the interview. Dennis Allen is saying the same thing he said in the press conference after the last 4 losses. He's saying the same thing. That's why I was sitting here hitting the laugh button at his ass. That's why I was hitting the laugh button on him. He's saying this. He said the same stuff over and over again. He said it, the same shit he said in the previous 4 losses. This is the same thing. Which if he's saying the same thing, that means you're not correcting whatever the issue was from the prior game. And we all know what it is. We sit up here and watch these games. We know that the interior offensive line is shitty and need to find better backups. That's what it comes down to. You got to run the ball. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So anyway, let me get on up out of here, man. Listen, I'd like to thank all of you guys for being here. Listen, once again, I'd like to apologize to you guys. And you say, Q, what you apologize for? I'm apologizing to you guys because Dennis Allen didn't apologize to you guys. He didn't apologize tonight about another stinky, funky loss. Saints have now lost 5 in a row. They're sitting up here at 2-5. They're 1-3 in the Superdome or the Caesars Dome, whatever you want to call it. And it's just one of these things where I apologize for you because he's too stupid to apologize to the Who Dat Nation for turning out these nasty ass losses, these incomplete teams that are not even prepared to play and get out here and embarrass the Who Dat Nation in front of a national crowd. This was a Thursday night football game. The entire nation seen that. Atlanta people over there laughing at the Saints, sniggling and giggling at the Saints because of this clown, this buffoon, this nincompoop, and this stupid ass general manager on top of the team operating in his emotions. So, like I said, man, it's a tough time, but it's necessary. We got to get this funk and this trash from off the team, man, and this is what it's going to take for the entire Who Dat Nation to flip the script and get hardcore in their game. I'll go through this because I know this is a purge process. I know what the end result's going to be after this. I know what kind of blessing reward we're going to get when we go through this. And that's why when we go through these little tough stretches, I'll be like, yeah, let's go. Get my camel pack and everything. We good to go. Let's go. Let's go ahead on this trek. Because I know at the end of the day, where this ends up at, where this road ends up to. I know it ends up into respectability. We get this funk and this trash off this team. I know that for certain. But anyway, let me get on up out of here, man. Listen, y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. Feel free to share the show on the social media feed. Also, just to let the family members know, shout out to our sponsors of the show, Mint Mobile, Teach Henley, and Bet Online. The links are in the description section below. You can get discounts on some of these things. Teach Henley is 20+%. I want to say Bet Online is also a good source. Mint Mobile, also a good phone service, cheap phones in this tough economy. Man, trying to do something to save us some money around this joint. Straight up, man. It's crazy, man. Got to get this economy turned around. Also, there's merch in the description section below, and we have several merch stores for you to check out, fam. That's a link tree link there as well for support and other things. So with that being said, I'm going to close out the stream, and we'll be back with us tomorrow. On Friday, we'll open up I'll see, fam. As usually it's kind of difficult. We'll see how it goes with the phone thing, but I'll definitely be back tomorrow with a show. Much love. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Much love, peace, and who that to you.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. Remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop in Who Dat Tip.